Wednesday morning, well before the natural glow of the sun would arrive, the headlights of mowers would be the sole source of light at Ridgewood. Before the round of 64 could get underway, there was still some unfinished business to tend to. 53 players finished stroke play at +4 or better. 15 players finished at 5 over par. That's 4 players too many for the round of 64. All 15 of the +5s moved out to the 15th hole, a straightforward par 3 playing 145 yards. For most players, it would be a simple 9-iron, maybe a wedge, a shot they've hit thousands of times before in practice, but never under the type of pressure found at the U.S. Amateur. The playoff would begin promptly at 7:30 a.m. and continue until 4 players would be eliminated. As players and caddies locked in on the 15th hole, there was a sense that this could take a very long time. After the final spots were secured for match play, there was just enough time to honor the medalists for their outstanding play in the stroke play portion of the championship. To do the honors, Fred Perpall, Championship Chair of the United States Golf Association.
I would like to congratulate our 2022 medalists. For the first time in U.S. amateur history, we will be recognizing 4 medalists today. With a 36-hole total of 3 under par, 138, congratulations to Fred Biondi, Luke Gucheski, Hugo Townsend, and Michael Thorbjornsen.
The number 1 seed was awarded to Gutcheski, and he would face the number 64 seed, Peyton Snowberger from Williamsport, Indiana, in the opening round. David Schefter, senior writer at the United States Golf Association, shared his thoughts on what type of player might find success today at Ridgewood.
I think ball striking is a big deal here. I played out here last year. This rough is thick. These greens are difficult to navigate. It's old school, it's Tillinghast. And a lot of these guys may not play on a lot of golf courses like this. The modern golf courses are set up a little differently. This course requires precision. It requires some thinking. So I think a little bit of experience helps. I think a guy who keeps the ball in the fairway is going to be a guy who succeeds here. A guy who can put the ball in the proper spots on these greens. You don't want to be above the hole. And I think that type of player who can really think his way around the golf course, and I think we're seeing that this week.
Fans coming through the gates of Ridgewood Wednesday morning did not have to look far and wide to find a marquee match of the day. Ricky Castillo, the former number 1 ranked amateur in the world from the University of Florida, would face Ludwig Aberg, the current number 2 ranked player in the world. Intense competitors, fully aware of the challenge in front of them. Both players couldn't have been more evenly matched. These 2 incredible par saves on the 5th hole foreshadowed what was to come, a battle of patience. Aberg would win the 6th and then the 9th to capture the lead. Castillo would win back-to-back holes on 14 and 15 to go back to 1 up. Both players attempted to get up and down for birdie on the par 5 17th, sensing the pivotal moment of the match. Aberg knew he had to apply the pressure and did so by making birdie. Castillo was hoping to have a putt to win. Now it was a putt to maintain the lead. When his birdie putt missed low, the 2 stars moved to the 18th. Just as quickly as Aberg had captured the moment on the 17th, it was lost as his tee shot leaked to the right. Castillo found trouble as well, flirting with the out-of-bounds stakes down the left. Faced with the choice of pitching out sideways or advancing the ball closer to the green, Aberg went with the latter and found the left greenside bunker. Castillo's decision from the left rough was more straightforward. Without a clear path to the green, he pitched out into the fairway and would eventually reach the green in 3 after a solid approach. Aberg, knowing that he needed a spectacular shot to have a chance at par, would meet a sudden and disappointing fate. Having barely escaped the bunker, things went from bad to worse. Castillo's brilliant par save would be the closing note of a well-played match that deserved a better ending. Castillo would win 1 up. Fred Biondi would face Frankie Zapin, who just completed his collegiate career at Florida Gulf Coast University. If the affable Brazilian needed any help keeping the mood light, he would only need to turn to the man carrying his bag, Dudley Hart.
Perfect mix of funny and knowledge. He played on tour for 25 years, won on tour. He just knows so much about golf, but he's also such a nice guy and keeps you kind of free out there. And I don't have to do much. It's kind of funny. I'm sitting there like on a shot and he gives me like all the numbers I need to know. I'm like, I don't even think twice. I'm using that and whatever he says. But he's just a nice guy. I mean, I've been hanging out a bunch with him at Florida. I've been helping me out a lot with my game.
Similar to the Aberg-Castillo contest, the 17th would produce another dynamic shift in this match. Biondi held a 1-up lead. Zapin would lag his eagle putt to gimme range for a conceded birdie. Biondi had the opportunity to answer Zapin's birdie, despite bringing in an extra set of eyes for the read. he lipped out the birdie putt and would walk to the 18th tee, tied with Zapin. Both narrowed their focus on the most important tee shot of the match. Zapin would miss right and be forced to pitch out. And despite his best attempts to force a tie to extend the match, Zapin would lose to Biondi and see his amateur career come to a close at the Ridgewood Country Club. Tommy Cool would find himself locked in an epic match with Bryce Lewis from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Lewis, the reigning Susquehanna amateur champion, would ride a hot putter and maintain the lead throughout the match. But Cool, coming off a Sweet 16 appearance at the Western Amateur, never felt further than one down, exemplifying the gritty, hard-nosed approach to the game instilled in him at the University of Illinois. Cool secured his par on 18. Lewis had a chance to tie him with a par and close out the match. When his putt missed, they would head to extra holes and resume the match where it all started, on the first tee. Cool and Lewis strode down the fairway after leaving themselves with easy approaches into the green that would give them realistic birdie opportunities. Cool's bid from 20 feet to apply pressure to Lewis just burned the edge, leaving the door open for Bryce Lewis from 15 feet to win the match. If some were expecting Connor McKinney to be blinded by the star power of Travis Vick, that sentiment didn't find its way to McKinney, the reigning Australian amateur champion who captured the title at the St. Andrews Links Trophy earlier this summer. Precise iron play led to 4 birdies in the first 5 holes, which allowed the young Australian with Scottish heritage to dominate the more experienced Texan, who couldn't escape trouble in the early stages of the match. Vick made a final charge on the back 9 and climbed back to only 1 down. But McKinney would pull ahead with closing birdies on 16 and 17. McKinney took down Vick 3-1. Like many matches today, Yushin Lin from the People's Republic of China and Peter Fountain from the University of North Carolina took their contest to the very end. Yushin was 3 up after winning the 15th hole with a birdie, but would lose the 16th. And then ran into trouble on the 17th hole. When Peter Fountain drained this putt for birdie on 17, the floodgates of momentum were open for Fountain as they both approached the 18th hole. Both missed the fairway and would be forced to approach from the deep rough. For Fountain, saving par was a must, and he gave himself a chance with an excellent play from the greenside bunker. But with a 1-up lead, all Yushin would need was a par of his own to hang on for the win as a slight drizzle gave way to more. The rain didn't affect Yushin as he rolled in the first putt for par to stop the surging Fountain and win 1-up. It was a day of survival by any means necessary, but the story of the round of 64 would be the long list of stars that failed to advance. Most notably, the number 2 seed, Michael Thorbjornsen, who would lose to Andrew von Lassau, the colorful mid-am from Spokane, Washington. The same fate found Gordon Sargent, the reigning NCAA champion, would lose to Ford Clegg from Mississippi State after 22 grueling holes in the fading sunlight. 32 players would leave Ridgewood tonight as the attention is shifted toward tomorrow's marathon day, which will include the rounds of 32 and 16. The volatility of the round of 64 might have been shocking to some, but to David Schefter, it's just another day at the office.
Well, it's match play, and if you remember, Bob Jones always said he always wanted to play 36-hole matches. Reason? Over 36 holes, the better player is going to win 18 holes. Anything can happen, and we saw that. These guys are really good. No matter if you qualified as a #1 player, if you qualify in the 64 spot, the difference is minuscule with these guys. They're all high-quality players. And when you get that 18-hole match, one guy gets hot, maybe the better player gets a little tight, boom, he's out of the championship, and that's what happens in match play.